Hello and welcome to Awesome Toys TV. This is one of my favorite segments on this channel, and that is featuring Gunpla videos from around the world. This time around, I actually have quite an underrated Gunpla builder, especially on YouTube, that I think all of you should definitely check out, and that is Curio Ventura, all the way from the United States. Finally managed to get him to collaborate with us on Awesome Toys TV to answer a few questions, which I will come to very soon. But you should definitely check out his YouTube channel. That has plenty of great gunpla building tips, especially when it comes to airbrushing. Now, for those of you who don't know Curio Ventura, he's a very cool and humble chap. I actually had a very long 1 hour plus Zoom call with him just to talk about strategizing how we should come out and create this video. So all in all, it was a very great chat, and thank you so much Curio Ventura for agreeing to this video interview. A great Gunpla builder start for us on Awesome Toys TV in 2021. So I'll shut up right now and I'll let you guys see his answers to some of our most sought after questions about him, his build, and also Gunpla building in general in the States. Over to you, Curio.
Hello everyone! You may not know me, you may know me, but I am Curio Ventura. My real name is Jared Bonaventura. My YouTube channel and Instagram are under the same name of Curio Ventura. So thank you very much for this opportunity to be able to speak with all of you right now. So fire away with your questions. My thoughts on Gunpla in the United States. I think it's actually picking up. The whole pandemic situation forced a lot of people into their homes. So for a long period of time, it was either video games or different types of hobbies people were getting into that normally never entertained the thought of doing those things. So Gundams themselves in Gunpla, I've noticed an uptick of people that have messaged me privately on Instagram or commented on my YouTube channel. They ask me, just really what are the fundamentals of being able to do it? Is it a hard hobby? Is it fun? Is it rewarding? And really, it's one of the best hobbies I tell everybody they can get into. So during this time right now where everybody's kind of sequestered at home, you get to go out for a little bit and then you got to go back inside. You get to go out for a bit and then go back inside. It's just pretty good because it keeps that, I should say, peace mentally for a lot of people, that they have something that is structured that they can go back to whenever they want and not have to worry about, oh, well, I'm getting pulled away from this now because X, Y, and Z. It just gives a little stability in basically unstable times right now. So I would tell everybody, in the United States at least, hobby is doing pretty good. I can't comment for the rest of the world, but here it seems like things are going well. And I would tell any of you right now who are watching, who are on the fence or maybe curious, go pick up a kit, give it a shot. You won't be disappointed. Favorite builds that I've done for 2019 or 2020, I would probably have to say, I think the kit that I've done the most this entire time, that in the beginning was fun, then I started doing it too much and started to hate it, and now I'm loving it again, was the Exia. The master grade, perfect grade. I've done so many of them. I've done a lot of the resin conversion Exias, the dark matter. So that kit I can pretty much build without looking at any of the instruction manuals now. I would say that's probably one of my favorite kits for the last 2 years. It's been an on and off thing, but consistently that's probably my favorite kit. Next dream project. I do have a bunch of kits coming from Japan from one gentleman, and in that batch of about 50 kits coming in, there are some G-System resin builds there, and there is a 1/72 Kshatriya and a O resin kit. Those two are the ones I would say are my dream builds. I've been wanting to do them for years, and hopefully this year I finally get around to being able to start them and complete them. But when I do, I'll chronicle those builds. You guys will see the entire A to Z of it. But yeah, those two are the kits that I'm looking forward to the most. Those are my dream builds. It's fun. It's enjoyable. The community is pretty good. I know there's a lot of people locally where I'm at. I live around the Miami area in Florida. There are a lot of people down here. They do workshops occasionally in various comic stores and things like that. So it's pretty healthy. It's pretty lively. The funny thing is, as far as people looking at my hobby differently, a lot of people have no idea what Gundams are, what I do actually. The community is relatively niche, but the cool thing is when people do see it, I have never had anybody look at my work, and I have a lot of honest friends. I have never had anybody look at my work and say, what kind of junk is that you're doing? Everybody seems to be relatively fascinated by it. So I think there's just something intrinsic to Gundams themselves, the kits themselves, very fine nature of putting all these pieces together that is fascinating to new people. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. As far as difficulty getting kits and supplies, yes. Ever since the whole pandemic thing started, probably within 3 months into it, I began to realize where a lot of the import stuff wasn't coming overseas anymore, wasn't coming here from overseas, I should say. A lot of my paints that I use and supplies that I use, I wasn't able to get them that easily, so I had to become creative with making my own paints, pigments, things like that. Now things have started to ease up a bit more. A lot of the hobby stores that were around where I am that I used to be able to pick up the paints that I get closed down. A few opened, but they have paints I don't normally use, so really I'm relegated to ordering everything online. And I have different suppliers that I use, so if one is out of a certain batch of colors, I can jump to another, but very rarely do I have a hard time getting certain paints. It's normally just relegated to specific colors that I can't get a hold of, and that's normally a manufacturing issue, not necessarily a store issue, so to speak. Wow, I build pretty much everything you can imagine. I've had a couple of health issues past couple of years that have really limited me from being able to do as much as I used to and as much as I really want to. But one thing that I did this last year, I've always been into gaming and arcades, so I always wanted to build one. So I took a stretch of about 2 months where I just learned everything I could about Raspberry Pis, about programming, about ROM files, about building, the actual arcade units themselves, monitors, audio engineering, the whole 9 yards. So I did one build that I'm actually finishing up right now. It's a One Piece anime themed arcade 1-up conversion. There'll be video of that on my YouTube channel. If you check my Instagram page at Curio Ventura, you'll see a couple of pictures right now that I've posted up about it. Also too, I'm big into cars. I love building and tuning cars. I tune ECUs, I do turbo installs, pretty much everything you can do in a car performance-wise. I'm into that. I've been into that for many, many years. I used to be a competitive driver as far as racing goes. I love home theaters. I love sound, hi-fi sound. I love designing home theaters. If you guys check out Your Average Consumer's channel, Judner had my wife and I fly over to go stay with him for a little bit in New Jersey, and we did a home theater install in his basement. Really cool video. Check it out if you get a chance. Really anything you can think of. I've been into taxidermy for years, entomology. My goodness gracious, it's too much. Basically, if you can think it, I, throughout the years, have immersed myself in whatever hobby to a degree. Here's a big secret that a lot of people don't know. I actually don't watch Gundam. I've seen a couple of the animes before, like Wing and I think the 00 series. I've caught a few episodes here and there, but the thing about me watching, this is my philosophy before everybody has a heart attack right now and realizes I don't watch Gundam. There's a good reason. And that reason is, since I'm a commission builder, if somebody asks me to do a theme, let's say I'm going to be working on a Strike Freedom Gundam very soon, and that is supposed to have a Halo 5 theme. It's supposed to look like one of the Forerunners in Halo. If I was really invested into the anime and really loved the characters, the Gundams very well, and all that other stuff, I would have a little bit of an emotional attachment to keeping things looking the way they do from the anime. And that would severely limit me on a creative level. So that's actually why I don't watch the series. It allows me and my horizons to be a lot broader when it comes to conceptualizing a build, and especially theme builds or doing something different. I don't have certain story elements that would say, well, I'm not going to make a RX-78 head look like something from, let's say, Destiny or something like that. I don't have that connection there. So because there is that disconnect, it allows me a lot more creative freedom. So I'm not saying that's the case for everybody, but that's the case for me personally. So if you watch the series, awesome. I would say keep watching it, keep learning it. One day, maybe if I branch away from Gundams for a bit, I'll take the time to start watching it, and maybe I'll be able to handle it better then and still keep a hold of the creativity while enjoying the animes. Okay, I'm a person who likes to be positive as best that I can. I do notice a lot of things. There is some level of toxicity with supremacy. You know, it's this thing where people feel like they have to take dumps on other people. There's one individual in particular that is apparently, and it was new to my knowledge, was very notorious in the Gundam community. I had people warning me left and right when he started posting comments in my Instagram and on my YouTube. And I mean, it was insane. Like, you know, they said this guy harasses people, he does all this stuff. I treat everybody with respect. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And quite honestly, I don't really get involved with the community as a whole because I have seen other builders before. I do watch other builders' content, and I've seen them discuss other people and negatively impacting other people's builds or their creativity, and I don't like that at all. I think that's very stifling. I think it's probably a tall order to really want everybody to get along. You're always going to have people that either feel insecure about other people's abilities, maybe threatened by other people's abilities, maybe they don't like the way some people talk. I just don't get into any of that stuff. I've had to delete comments before of people dumping all over other people. My content, my pages, whether it's YouTube or Instagram, they're not for any of that crap, and that is exactly what it is. So any of your negative comments about other people or saying, well, this person does better than you, good. You can comment those things. That's fine. That doesn't bother me. I'm confident with my abilities, so it's okay. And I always know there's people out there that can do things more effectively than others can. There's people who can do things better in areas than I can, and I look to them to learn, just like others look to other people to learn. So that's one of the benefits of this hobby. When you start thinking you know it all, you stop growing, and then you get left behind, and the only person you're convincing is yourself that you're something great. So I don't like the negativity. I don't get involved in it. I don't like talking bad about anybody. I don't talk bad about anybody. I think the one thing that does irritate me a little bit, and it's the one thing I've mentioned before, is people buying their subscribers, buying their followers. They want to become commission builders. They want to become popular Gunpla builders. I use that in quotations, popular. And they go out and purchase. They basically take a shortcut. Okay, if you want to do that, that's fine. That's cool. I choose not to do that. I let my work speak for itself. I've been hovering around 10,400 followers on Instagram for a long time. I got over 3,000 picture posts on there, where I see people that have like 200 picture posts and they're at like 25,000 subscribers. Okay, if that happened organically, great. If it didn't, that's a little sad. That's my opinion. And you know what they say about opinions. Essentially, I think that's the only thing that really does annoy me a little bit, but it doesn't annoy me to the point where I'm just like, I'm done, I'm finished. I just don't pay that much attention to what everybody else does, and that's the advice I give you. Don't pay that much attention to what everybody else does. Just enjoy the content, enjoy your builds, enjoy the hobby. No negativity, all love. Next question. Okay, GBWC. Years ago, when I first got on Instagram, I tried doing an online entry for it. All I did was a paint job. I didn't do any crazy customizations that some of these extraordinary builders do. My philosophy really on competitions like that, I don't think they add a lot to the community. I think that creates a competitive nature that contributes to the negativity and the toxicity in the community. Because what it's doing is, the intent should be, look, this person spent a while and did a very beautiful build. People should look at that and appreciate it. That's great. The problem is when it's doing a competition, then there's favoritism. Then there's people that like this builder. This guy should have won. This person should have won. That person that won sucks. And then it just kicks off this, again, whole toxic crap. And I'm pretty sure the folks who started doing the GBWC did not have that in mind, and that was not their intent. It was really something to pull a community together, to all appreciate everybody's work. But sadly, we do live in a time where people like to be critical, and they just can't appreciate something for what it is. So for me personally, I stay away from that. Can I do something that would be really nice and grand and all that other stuff? I can do that just like any of you watching can. Everybody can do that, really. It's just the dedication involved in it. So I just think instead of doing competitions, just focus on self-improvement, appreciate what other people do, try to incorporate that into your own hobby, your own builds. Yeah, that's basically it. You probably won't see me ever do a GBWC build or try anything like that. Parting words. I think I've given everybody a lot of my thoughts already. So as far as parting words, I'm just going to repeat what I've said before in a lot of videos in the past, and that is, enjoy the hobby. Love it. Find your joy in it in that sense. Don't get stifled if somebody says something negative or somebody says something dumb or whatever the case is. Also, a big one is cultivate humility in the hobby. Humility goes a long way, because humility now, you don't have any roadblocks that would make you say, well, I need to grow in this area, but I have touted myself to be this fantastic thing that I know everything, so now I'm going to have a hard time growing in this area because I'm going to look stupid. See, whereas if you're humble and you just, like we all do, continue to learn, well then you got free reign to learn whatever you want. Even if you do these great grand builds, you have the freedom to look at somebody and say, wow, how did you do that effect? Can you teach me how to do that? Show me at least, help me, you know, I want to learn. Then you can go and incorporate that into a build, and that's it, it's freedom. So humility is freedom. I think that's probably one of the best things I could say, and that goes for any of this hobby. You got freedom to learn, freedom to speak, and especially so freedom to enjoy the hobby for what it really is. It's cathartic, it's therapeutic. Thank you very much to Awesome Toys TV for giving me the opportunity to be able to speak to you all on this format. Hopefully you all are able to stay safe, continue to find joy in building Gundams. By all means, reach out to me on my Instagram at Curio Ventura or on my YouTube in the comment section. I reply to everybody that I possibly can. Sometimes it may take a little time for me to reply, but I do reply. Thank you very much again, folks. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe, enjoy your 2021, and